Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Femafricmaths channel. We are excited to bring you our first interview of the year 2024. We have with us a maths queen who is going to share her journey with us. Welcome, Ruby. We'd like to hear from you about yourself and your journey with mathematics.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Angela, for this opportunity. And I'm glad to connect with other math queens here as well. So shout out to every math queen watching this. So I am Ruby Kodiah, originally a Ghanaian, currently in the United States. Yes, so for my journey, I schooled in Ghana, definitely. I'm Ghanaian. Schooled for senior high school, finally completed the master's senior high school. And so I think this is the story. So in between senior high school and my bachelor's degree or my undergrad, I did general science. So the usual way is that every science person ends up being a medical doctor or like an engineer, or at least a nurse. That kind of stereotypic. I don't know if that stereotypic is the word, but that was the trend. But for my senior high school, my grades could not meet medical school. Thanks be to God. So that was the first miracle that happened. But I did not know it was a miracle, and I decided to reset again so I could make it to medical school. So it was through that phase of life that the new school's head or authority recommended a math program. That's actuarial science to me, but I did not know anything about it. But he looked at my grades and said, "Hey, you have a lot of A's with the math courses. Why not try actuarial science?" I'm like, "What's actuarial science?" It sounds very like spatial for me. I actually thought it was more engineering, only to find out that it had to do with math. So that leads me to what actuarial science is. So actuarial science is more about people or certain experts using mathematics to solve problems by mitigating risks, like kind of estimating risks. Then if this is the risk, then how can we reduce it to make life better for you and I? So that led to my journey for my bachelor's degree in actuarial science from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And I realized I liked the courses. Like I liked the math courses. I didn't have to really struggle to learn them, like biology and chemistry. No hard feelings on it. Pure science students out there. But the math was more fun, and I graduated with first class by the grace of God. And then I had to do my national service with margins group, which also was non-pure role, but like personal assistant, which was great. So that's to say, even with a math background, I mean, you can still be personal assistant, but that was a phase of life, but you should still have your focus or your main goal in mind. So after my national service, I worked a bit and went through the AIMS Ghana also system. And that was hard. Honestly, I finished my master's in the United States with Youngstown State University. But I must say the AIMS system is more rigorous. I think most people who agree is more rigorous than. And I mean, fun fact, should I say it's a fun fact? But it was in AIMS that I got my first, should I say, acne or pimples from stress. I've never been that stressed in my life, but that's to say, it also prepared me for my master's program. As long as I survived, like the AIM system, it helped me, and I found it to a bit easy. And I mean, to the grace of God, again, I was nominated as a Phi Kappa Phi member. That's like best 7.5% student in my department for graduate studies. So I'd say AIMS is also good. If you get opportunity, just go. And then from my master's program, during my master's program, I also interned with AIG for my summer internship, and currently having my full-time at Emeritus Life Insurance Corporation and celebrating my 1-year anniversary. So that's been my journey so far.
Wow. Thanks so much, Ruby. So you've given us a very elaborate journey. What has been your motivation? Because you kept on saying that you still had, even though it took a detour sometimes, you still had the focus in mind. What has been your motivation in the midst of all this journey?
Okay, so my motivation has always been that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Like no face is always like it's forever. No face is eternal. of course, unless maybe life after death, but no phase is really eternal. So as much as it may prolong, it will still be better. But as of the time that it will be better is what we don't know and can bring anxiety. Because looking back at my senior high school time, my first WASD, I'm not making straight A's. I think I made 4 A's, 4 B's or something. After that time, I almost felt like life had all come against me, like full darkness. All that, knowing that, oh, you were part of first 3 or first 5 best students in your senior high school, like that kind of history. But looking back, if I did not fail in that phase, I would not have identified actuarial science. So there are some experiences I've had in life that's made me know that there are times that I really worried about certain things, that in the end, it played out all for my good. So I believe definitely that I'm a person of hope, that all things work together for your good. So if that's the case, no matter what you're going through, I think that it's good to say the phase can be very anxious or it can be very uncertain, and uncertain actuaries deal with uncertainties most of the time. It's very uncomfortable, and that's why we have experts trying to reduce it. But we can eliminate it totally. But trust the phase that you are and believe that there's better. You're not a bad person. So believe that good things will also happen to you. And if they do, be ready to embrace them. So I've always known that it's going to work out. But as a when, I don't know. And that's why
Wow. So we like to highlight the diversity in careers when you study mathematics and related subjects. You talked about your bachelor's degree. No, let's start on high school. You study general science, your undergraduate degree in actuarial science. You started at ASU. Sorry?
My master's actually in mathematics.
Yes, exactly. Yes, when you move to the US in mathematics. So tell us, what are some of the key skills you need now? So, but there are young people watching us from all across. They say there's an undergraduate student watching us. You have gone through the educational system, both in Ghana and the US. You currently have a full-time job. What are some of the skills you acquired on your way, which came in very handy for you on your journey?
Okay, so thank you for this question. I must say it's a great one. And I think I can talk about this, one of the interviews that I attended for the full-time job. So for actuaries, we have like actuary exams that we write that helps you to be certified. And I remember that in that interview, I had people with like 3 exams, 4 exams. And I think for my first interview, I had 0 exams. And I got the offer. And I think another interview phase for the full time, I got people with more exams, but I was chosen. And sometimes you just have to probe into why like people choose. I think there was this interview also that we're not done with the interview, but the interviewer said, hey, like you already have the offer and make sure you say yes. After we send you the letter, make sure you accept instantly. And I've had instances also that say, are you sure you really? I think so. I got to the United States in January 2021. So February 2021, I was being interviewed for a job. And like I was speaking so that's my first point, confidence. I'm very reserved. I'm not shy, but I'm reserved. But when it comes to a time that it's needed, I project I highlight the strength. So one should be very confident. And as I was saying, I had an interviewer ask me, are you sure you just moved to the United States like just a month ago? Because you almost always speaking in a way that we can hear you. Sometimes the accent can be like a barrier. But I took it upon myself that, okay, I'm not going to talk like, you see the way I just switched? But like, I'm going to talk like this so that they can hear me. And sometimes you have to adjust to the system. So every company has their culture. I adjusted to like what's required to fit in. This is not to say I'm compromising, but like I can switch at any time. So my ability to communicate exactly who I am. Most people sell themselves shorter than who they are. Like for a job, they feel like I'm not qualified for this one. Oh, this one because it's in the US or it's in Canada. I'm from Ghana. I don't think I'll like already, but I entered the interview room knowing that I'm very qualified. That's how I see myself. If I get there and I think I'm not qualified, I'm gonna work hard to catch up. But always be confident. Know what's on your resume. be ready to learn. So in as much as you've learned many skills, maybe R, Python and all that, when you enter like a company, there are a whole different new softwares you'll be using, not necessarily the very general ones all the time. And you should be ready to learn. You should be ready to, I feel like communication is the key thing to fit in. You can know a lot of math stuff, but to be able to communicate it in a financial way is your skill. Then ability to relate with other people on your team. Then I think one other major one is networking. All my job offers has been through someone, like through somebody that I knew. So in as much as you're doing your math, you're doing your science, you're doing your statistics, make sure you know a human being that is non-math.
Wow, thanks so much. We are wrapping up very soon. And you highlighted the importance of being confident in your abilities, right? You should be confident in it. You should be willing to learn, network, because your opportunities came from these places. Now, penultimate question: what challenges did you face, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay,
just mention one key challenge you faced and how you overcame it.
Okay, so key challenge in the United States, right?
Yes, when you moved. Yes, when you moved. Yeah.
Okay, so when I moved, I would say like support, because I have my main family, yet to start my family here, but my main family in Ghana. And support can be like emotional support, support can be financial support can be nutritional support, because when you move in, you have to adjust your eating. If you're a person that loves banku and the fufu and you don't see it, for me, it can affect my mood sometimes. So all those petty things, or finding yourself in a family community. But one thing also is to adjust. But luckily for me, I had a number of like Africans around, but like still having that strong support around have been very challenging. But it's not something you can navigate through. Just find the right people and you receive the right support.
Wow, thanks so much. The importance of a support system, right? Yes. So before we go in a minute, can you give a message to a young person watching out there who would like to pursue a career in a related field? What would be your encouragement for them in a minute?
Okay, so in a related field like actuary of science. Okay, so if you want to become an actuary, start taking your exams. I mean, I entered the United States with 0 exams and still got an internship, but I'm not going to encourage that. If it happens that it's your field or that's what happens to you, that's fine. But the more exams that you take, the more chances it also gives you to land an internship or land a full-time job. So take the exam seriously and stay focused. We all have different paths. Some people might have started the exams before you. You might have to start yours at age 27, 28. Don't look at somebody's journey. Focus on your journey, focus on your goal, and make sure you're committed to reaching that goal.
Wow, stay focused and don't write your exams. The fact that you started with 0 doesn't mean you should follow that example. It's important to write your exams and stay focused. Thanks so much, Ruby. We look forward to sharing your inspiring story with the world. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.